What's going on, man? Jamaican youth in the building yet again with another stream, another live stream. And yeah, we here want to talking some football. we see the nobody coming into the building yet, but we're just gonna talk about some things we see happening today. As you can see in the thumbnail and in the title of the video, we have Reggae Boyz World Cup qualifying launch that happened today. And we saw that in that World Cup qualifying launch that we saw the 876 stream partnership with the Jamaica Football Federation. And we also saw that they talk about the talent development scheme that's in the JFF hands right now, being spearheaded by a certain individual that we're going to talk about. I just kind of wanted to break down the launch today or the press conference today. There are some things that stood out to me that I wanted to talk about. Some things that I felt like was really interesting that was mentioned in the press conference today, and I just kind of want to talk about them. Some really good things looking like it's on the horizon for the JFF, and it's looking good. The what you call it, the election is now behind us, and now we can move forward. We can talk football. We can talk about some of the things that Reggae Boyz have coming up. Before I get into it though, as you join in, just hit the like button and the subscribe button if you haven't done so as yet. But we're definitely glad to see you here as you come in. If you're watching on the replay, if you're watching live, hit the like button, and if you're watching on the replay, the same. But yeah, I wanted to talk about, before I even get into the whole thing that I saw with the press conference today, I wanted to talk about the European games we saw today. We saw some pretty interesting games go on today in Europe. We see Aston Villa being the only English team that is remaining in Europe. All the English teams have been knocked out of Europe, and no, Aston Villa is the only one remaining. We saw Liverpool. They lost to, well, they didn't lose, but they didn't lose today, but they lost an aggregate to Atalanta, so they're out of the Europa League. We saw where West Ham, they played Bayer Leverkusen. They lost to Bayer Leverkusen, so they got knocked out of that league. And pretty much right now is Aston Villa that is left in Europe, which is interesting. We see Liam Bailey played a major role in Aston Villa's win today, even though he actually missed his penalty, or his penalty was saved. He actually had a good game. He had actually played a good game. We saw that one of his knees was strapped up, which I don't know if that means that he is nursing an injury or something, but hopefully, for the sake of Aston Villa and especially for the sake of Jamaica, that's not necessarily the case. So those is kind of some of the things that we saw going on in Europe today. But I want to get into talking about the Reggae Boyz, or the JFF press conference that happened today. And like some of the things that we saw or heard at the press conference, we saw Mike Ricketts, Dennis Chung, John Wall, and a certain individual called Conrad Mattison that is from 876 Stream, who is now partnering with the JFF for marketing purposes. And so I think that that's a really, really good thing. And I just kind of want to talk about the whole thing that happened today. We saw the press conference where Mike Ricketts, he started out talking about Jamaica's 2 referees that they have participating in the Olympic Games coming up, which is excellent. We see 2 referees going over there to Paris to officiate in the Paris Olympics. That's a good thing for Jamaican referees. It means that, because the last time we had an international referee before the Danian nations and so on was the likes of Peter Prendergast, I think. So it's good to see that the refereeing in Jamaica is under the move. So there will be 2 referees over there in Paris. They mentioned that some things had come in for the technical center, for the JFF technical center to stack up on some of the things that is needed for the technical center. They didn't show what those things were, but they did mention that there were some things that came in. And that kind of even triggered my mind when I heard it, the whole aspect of having more technical centers like the JFF Center of Excellence around the country. And I'm going to get into talking about that because they did mention the talent development scheme that came up. And I want to talk about that in a second. But, the technical center got some new things. Then Mr. Ricketts mentioned, Mr. Ricketts, by the way, president of Jamaica Football Federation, he mentioned the U17 competition that is to commence in May. And that is a good thing, The under-17 competitions, right now, the under-17 competitions will be competed by the Premier League teams. So only the Premier League teams will actually have a under-17 team in this U17 tournament that's going to start, I think he said May the 5th, which is a Sunday, I think Sunday, May the 5th. That under-17 tournament will start. He said that it's not mandatory for the Premier League teams to have an under-17 team in the upcoming tournament right now, but you're only able to participate if you are a Premier League team. And right now, if they're not up to scratch, he's saying that the JFF will try to work with them. And this was mentioned in conjunction or in relation to the fact that as of 2025, which is next year, under-17 World Cup will be every year. The under-17 World Cup will be every year as of next year, as of 2025. So it's very important that we're getting an under-17 tournament going in May. I think that that's a good thing. In the press conference, I think I heard him say something about they're trying to target the teenagers that are coming out of high school right now who may have been playing some football but don't really have any more football to play. So now this under-17 tournament provides an opportunity for them to, play some ball after them leave high school. And, the specific reason is in connection with the under-17 World Cup that will be going on yearly now as of 2025. So they're really trying to target that 12 to 16 age group of players. And I hear them not even saying it's not just for the males or the boys, but also for the girls as well. So a lot of development from that perspective. Then they went on to talk about the talent development scheme. And I think, John Wall expounded on it, but Mike Ricketts mentioned it a little. He talked about the TDS, the talent development scheme, which essentially is a program that Jamaica got selected for, by an application from the JFF, so that an overseas FIFA-based coach will come into the country for the course of about 2 years to work with talent identification and talent development across the country. And the way it was explained, it sounded like they will be working with the local players. The best local players will be brought together to train, and they will try to keep them together and just get pretty much pick the best 24 players at the end of their talent development and talent identification. Is to keep the best 24 players. Again, I think that is a good it's a good initiative. and it can't get started soon enough. And I'm guessing that the under 17 tournament is the tournament that will be starting that off. And then I guess as the under 17 tournament comes to a close, it will transition out into the talent development, because they will be using, I'm guessing, that tournament, that under 17 league, to identify the best players from that league to use in the TDS. And of course, John Wall is in charge of the talent development scheme, even though there's an overseas based coach that will be helping. I think Mike Ricketts mentioned the guy as Stefan Avery. Stefan Avery is the coach, a coach who was born in Guadeloupe, came from Guadeloupe, but did a lot of his training and development in France. So we'll have that French influence, I guess, to some extent in the talent development scheme, working with a John Wall, who is also, I think, a very good person when it comes to youth football and talent identification and so on and so forth. So, yeah, Jamaica was chosen as one of 25 countries for that. And, it's a good look. I think this is one of the first times we can say Jamaica is taking a serious approach to grassroots football, because if you really think about it, a lot of the times the term grassroots football is thrown around, but nothing really happens with grassroots football, because grassroots football is essentially Manning Cup and the Costa Cup and Pepsi and Colts. You know what I mean? That's essentially what grassroots football is in Jamaica. And the unfortunate thing about that is that, those competitions only last so long. They only last a few months for the year. And so one of the things John Wall even mentioned in the press conference is that they're trying to increase the contact hours with the players, trying to increase the competitiveness of the players. I'll get into what John Wall said in more detail as I go along, but I just want to emphasize that this initiative, the TDS, the Talent Development Scheme, is a really, really good initiative. And I hope it bear the type of fruit that I am thinking the GFF wants it to bear. So as I said, John Wall is in charge of that. The guy Stefan Avery is the FIFA coach that will be working in the country over the course of the next 2 years to coach the kids. While I'm guessing John Wall will kind of be somewhat of the director of this initiative. So then Mike Ricketts went on to talk about the World Cup qualifying games that are coming up on June 6 and June 9, and that is Dominica and Dominica Republic. And those games are really, really important. I think Jamaica needs to put our best foot forward and not take any games for granted. When it comes down to World Cup qualifying, we pretty much have to treat these games like we're going to treat the Copa America, or like how we treat Nations League, because these games are extremely important. Even though we look at Dominica as, is a little team where anybody, what that Jamaica should be able to get by, we can't really go into it with that attitude. We need to go into it that, look, we cannot afford to make any mistakes with these teams. With Dominica or Dominica Republic, they might look easy to beat on paper, but we can't take it lightly. We have to go in there very focused, very serious, almost like we're playing Brazil, and beat them well too, because goal difference might play a role in who comes first and who comes second in the group. And if you come first, the next round that come around is a different, it will depend on whether you come first or second will determine who you play in the upcoming rounds. So I think Jamaica has to go in this very, very focused and taking it very seriously, and not assuming that just because they're the teams that they're playing look easy on paper, that they're going to be easy. So we have to take that seriously. And I think Michael Ricketts, he said just as much that, a lot of people are of the belief that it's going to be easy, but we can never, ever, ever take that approach with this World Cup qualifying. We got to take this really, really seriously. And then finally, Mr. Ricketts, on his opening statement, he said that he's asking Jamaica to forget the past and embrace the future. The past meaning, there was a lot of things that happened in the past, and that the JFF get beaten for. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that the fan base weren't happy with. And we have to call a spade a spade. I think the JFF is genuinely trying to make an effort to improve Jamaica's football now. And I am not really one for laud the JFF per se, because they have their shortcomings, and when them forget beaten, them get beaten. But sometimes we also have to call a spade, and when they do something that is good, we have to say, it is well done. So I think in terms of, especially considering that the election is now done and it's behind us, that I think we can just put what is in the past, focus on the future. We're not hearing any more as much noise being made about the JFF now, in terms of some of the things that they have done in the past, some of the shortcomings they have had in the past. We don't hear as much of it now. And so, we kind of have to give credit where credit is due. And I really want them to do well. I don't want, these problems to come up. I really want them to fix the problem that they have with Leon Bailey, for example. You know what I mean? Like, some intervention needs to happen there. But I know right now the climate in the Reggae Boyz fan base is that, them not really feel Leon Bailey like that. You know what I mean? Like, even though Leon Bailey, his form in England is pretty good, his form in Europe is pretty good right now. I would love to have an informed Leon Bailey in Jamaica's team. He is not being embraced by the public, the fan base right now. And so I would love to see that change, but that is something that is going to be up to the coach, up to the JFF, etc. All right, so that was the opening statement of Michael Ricketts. Then we saw in the press conference, Mr. Dennis Chung started talking, and I think his responsibility was to talk about the 876 stream partnership with the Jamaica Football Federation. And apparently 876 stream has come on as the marketing partner of the Jamaica Football Federation, and apparently 876 stream has other clients that they have worked with, like the Jamaica Premier League, like Digicel, etc. They have had big clients already that they have helped to market a lot. And honestly, me never even really know say 876 stream was that big of a brand. I thought, I know that they have a YouTube channel, so I really thought 876 stream was just a YouTuber that carries some Jamaican sports. I didn't know that they are actually a marketing company. So that was instructive right there. I learned something there. That was an education right there for me, because I didn't know that about 876 stream. I thought, as I said, they were a YouTube channel, but they are now the marketing partner with the JFF. We really, really hope that the promotion of the JFF will improve. You know what I mean? I really hope the promotion of the JFF will improve, and that we'll see more we'll see more more people at the games. We'll see more people at the games when it comes on. So Mr. Chung did commend the JFF staff, talked about how well that they have done in terms of the qualification of the senior reggae boys, them making they making it to third in the CONCACAF Nations League. That was something important. That was something that deserves some, and the staff that helped to make that happen deserve the commendation for that. And the fact that the Jamaica has a busy schedule this year in 2024, a busy schedule ahead, with under 14, under 18, under 20, the Reggae girls, the Reggae boys. We know that there's an under 18 team that went to Turkey or is going to Turkey. We know that the under 20s, they have their tournament coming up in July, I think it is. We know that the Reggae boys have Copa America and the World Cup qualifying. We know that the Reggae girls also have friendly internationals, or had friendly internationals. So it seemed like it's going to be a busy time for the Reggae boys, or the Jamaica's football this year. So that was mentioned. But yeah, essentially this was also a launch for the World Cup qualifiers as well. John Wall was thanked for his service to the under 20s, and Jerome Waite was welcomed as the new coach for the under 20s. So we see a kind of a passing of the torch right there. But I know how I feel about that still. Like, I really have to go wait and see how Jerome Waite perform, because honestly, you know what I mean, like, it's kind of a disconnect in a way to have one coach who started something with the under 20s in the first round of the qualifying tournament, and then now is a new coach coming at that new coach is coming in on this round. And I just don't know how that's gonna work, because I mean, he obviously will have a different philosophy of how to play. He's probably going to use a different set of players. He's probably going to teach a different system. All of that for me is going to be pretty, I think, disruptive, to the flow of what was already there before. So I don't know. I wish Jerome Waite all the best, though. I mean, because obviously, I mean, if you get offered the position and a job like being under 20 coach, then you have to take it. You know what I mean? So I definitely can't blame him for taking the job. But at the same time, it's like, is it really the best way to go about this? Would it have been better to leave John Wall as coach of the under 20s, right, and allow him to finish the job that he started, instead of bringing in a new coach right now? Because, like, I don't know, like, it seems a little bit disruptive to me. But we'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see what happens. I mean, again, I wish Jerome Waite all the best. I hope he qualifies his team for the World Cup. But I just think that the flow of things has been somewhat disruptive. All right. So, as I said, Dennis Strong, he thanked, John Wall, welcomed Jerome Waite for that through the under 20s. He mentioned that it was the most successful period in JFF's history. Dennis Strong did. He said that this last 2 years has been, one of the most successful periods in Jamaica's footballing, or the JFF's history. And he kind of mentioned some of the accolades, the Women's World Cup qualification and their performance at the World Cup, the Reggae Boys under 20, the Reggae Boys Nations League performance, the Reggae Boys Gold Cup performance, and some other things. They were saying that this was kind of one of the most successful periods in Jamaica's football industry. Welcome in. As you come in, if you can just hit the like button for me, would I really appreciate it. You know, I appreciate every eye that come on the video. And yeah, he said that this was one of the most successful period in JFF period. So we see that. We see Dennis Strong did say that. Then we see Conrad Matheson, he came on, and Conrad Matheson is the guy known as the chairman of 876 Stream. And he talked about, you know, the fact that he's excited about the partnership with the JFF. As a matter of fact, it seemed like they were the ones who actually offered to come on board with the JFF. And Conrad, he talked about the fact that he kind of tried to remind people of the passion and the energy that was around the Reggae Boyz team in 1998. It kind of said those still. It kind of said that almost everything that we talk about when it come on to the Reggae Boyz and World Cup qualification is surrounded by 1998, because 1998 was what, almost 30 years ago. We're in 2024 now, so 30 minus 6, 26 years. It's been 26 years. That was the last time a senior Reggae Boy team, senior national team, participated in a World Cup. And honestly, that's not really good at all. And you know, it would have been good to see if we could have at least qualified for 2 more World Cup before now. You know what I mean? And every time we talk about, you know, the glory days of 1998, you know, that was it's just years ago. That was just years ago, you know. So Conrad Matheson, he came in, he talked about that he was excited with the partnership between JFF and you know, JFF and 876 Stream. He wants to bring back the passion from 98 back to it. You know, he talked about the fact that there's a lot of sports professionals working in the diaspora that we can tap into, and that he has been talking to, that wants to come on board and help with the marketability of the Jamaica Football Federation and the Jamaica Reggae Boyz and all of the teams associated with it. And just bringing back the passion in general. Talk about the fact that, you know, the stadium really needs to be full, you know, and they are the ones actually working with the Jamaica Premier League, the JPL. They are the ones that actually have helped with the marketing of the JPL and getting people in the seats, getting people at Sabina Park, getting people at Tony Spalding Sports Complex, getting people at the National Stadium. Is, you know, the 876 Stream, they're the ones that have been helping with it. So, you know, we want to see, I'm going to be watching keenly how they deal with the marketing of the Jamaican product, how they deal with the marketing of the Jamaican national teams. Because if we're honest with ourselves, we have to admit that the attendance, you know what I mean, the fun attendance and the fun vibes and the fun energy is not it right now. The fun energy for Jamaica, like whenever we have a game at the National Stadium, that's not it. You know what I mean? The attendance is pretty low. And you know what I mean, like we want to see more people, we want to see more butts in the seats, as you know, they would say. So we want to see what 876 Stream does. We want to see some of the things that they will be doing to improve the product, to make it more attractive for people to come and want to watch Jamaica play. We're going to be doing that, but that is what they say that they will be doing. They say they want to replicate the JPL success and put that into the Reggae Boyz or the national teams. You know, to be honest with you, like with the JPL, the finals of the JPL last year was really, really good. Like when you look at Sabina Park and you look at the crowd that was there, and a big part of that was because Mount Pleasant made it to the finals, because Mount Pleasant has a really big fan base, you know. But I could just imagine if It's something like a Mount Pleasant versus a Arnett Gardens final. Can you imagine that? Because especially because like Mount Pleasant is the blues and Arnett Gardens is red, and both teams have a large fan base. You know, Mount Pleasant have a large fan base from up there in St. Anne, and Arnett Gardens have a large fan base from Rima. So I can just imagine, you know, if like a Mount Pleasant versus Arnett Garden was supposed to reach the finals, you know, it would have really be rammed. But the point is, it seemed like there are more people that would go to that game than would go to a national game. Jamaica versus Canada, nobody was there. So I want to see what 876 Stream does, because some of the things I would recommend they do, they need to bring in the players to engage with the people more. Bring them to some local events where the local people in Jamaica can get to interact with the Reggae Boyz. Because that, I don't know if that happens. You know what I mean? One of the things they could do, have an open training session where they invite the public to come watch them train, or have some type of, you know, have some type of event where if there are some type of event that the public can interact with them. Have some type of event where the fans can come and shake the players' hands, can come and take a picture with them. I'll give you an example. I actually live close to a USL team right here in the United States, the USL team. And you know what they do? At the end of every game, right? At the end of every home game, they actually have a gate leading to the field, because the field is boxed off from the stands, you know, by a fence. It's fenced around. But there is a gate that you can pull to get inside the field. And what they do is at the end of every game, they invite supporters to come and meet and greet the players. So what they do is they keep the gate closed after the game is done and allow the visiting team to leave. They allow the game to settle down if the referee needs to leave, if the linesman needs to leave, if the ground staff need to come on and remove a few things, they do that. But then what happens is that they invite the supporting public. They open the gate, them fly the gate, invite the supporting public on the field, and let them shake the hands of the players. Sometimes they sign autographs, sometimes they take pictures, sometimes they just have a conversation with them, just boom them fists, you know, take a video with them, do a selfie with them, do a Instagram reel with them, like whatever it is. You know, those things gin up support, because I want to tell you, as a USL team, you know, the Freedom Stadium always full. They always have people in their stadiums watching. You know what I mean? And I think little things like that help. Little things like that help in terms of bringing people to the games. People want to come back sometimes because of an interaction they might have had with a player who was on the field. So I think that is something that I would suggest. It doesn't have to be exactly like that, but I would definitely suggest trying to make the players interact with the supporting public. I think that would be good. All right, and then the final part of the last part of the presentation, the press conference, was when John Wall spoke. John Wall spoke on the TDS, the Talent Development Scheme Program. He spoke about that. And I think this is probably one of the most important aspects of the press conference, in my opinion, because he started out talking about the fact that the Talent Development Program needs to empower the parishes with regional centers. I mean, I think that, you know, I need to hear more people from the JFF saying that. What he's saying is that Center of Excellence that we have, the Captain Hurst Burrell Center of Excellence, that need to be replicated across the country in almost every parish. That center of excellence need to be in every parish in Jamaica, because right now we only have one facility like that. And we can start slow. We can have one in Kingston, one on the eastern end of the island, like over in Portland and so on, and one on the western end of the island, like in Montego Bay, Westmoreland, wherever. But the Captain Lawrence Burial Center of Excellence, that thing needs to be replicated across the country. And that is one of the things that John Wall said. John Wall said that we need to empower the parishes with regional centers, meaning that centers where kids can come in and train, because the contact hours is low. The contact hours with players are low. And, you know, just want to say big up to everybody who is watching. Welcome here, and we're glad that you're here viewing. I'll just ask if you hit the like button as you're here. It helps to send out the video to more eyes. But thank you for being here. Feel free to make some comments in the comment section so that we can have an engagement as we go along. But I just wanted to say that was one of the most important thing I hear John Wall said. He said, you know, we need to have it over all of the parishes. You know what I mean? And we need to hear that talk happening more. We need to hear that being said more often. And we need to put the money behind it to get these centers up and running in different aspects, in different parishes across the country. Then he said that the way it will work, the talent development scheme, is the aim is for them to train 4 times a week from Monday through Thursday. 4 times a week. That's a massive improvement, because what that means is that, you know, you'll have players, kids, whosoever, constantly training, you know, every day. Monday to Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the break on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, come back Monday to Thursday again. That needs to happen in Jamaica, because it has been a constant cry, you know, from the Craig Butlers of the world, that the training regimen in Jamaica is not consistent enough. We have Manning Cup, we have schoolboy football, whether it be Manning Cup, Pepsi, or Colts. We have schoolboy football, and people really don't play football after that. And so even if you're a strong talent, because you're not really playing football consistently, you know, you're not really making any progress, because your football development is from right there from what, September to December. And then maybe if you win Manning Cup, you might play 1 or 2 games in January, and that's it. You know, so this program, to have them train four times a week, Monday to Thursday, you know, year in, year out, I think will work wonders for Jamaica, because Jamaica is blessed with a lot of raw talent. Jamaica is blessed with a lot of raw talent that just needs harnessing. It just needs some development. It just needs some coaching. It just needs attention. And we'll see good results from that. So training four times a week, Monday to Thursday. He also said that they're trying to get the 24 best players, and those 24 best players are 20 outfield players and 4 goalkeepers. So 20 outfield players and 4 goalkeepers. That's, you know, that they're trying to pretty much make an island-wide elite team, elite under 17 team, is essentially, because as he said here, so also they're focusing on the 12 to 16 age group, boys and girls. 12 to 16 age group, boys and girls. So they're trying to find the best 24 players, 20 outfield players, 4 goalkeepers between the ages of 12 and 16 across the island, with the fact that in 2025, you know, there will be an under 17 World Cup year in, year out as of 2025. I think this actually, you know, this should have been here before, but better late than never. I'm glad that this is here now, and I am looking to see what type of fruits it bears. And then talk about improve global competitiveness and increase contact time with the players. So they want to improve global competitiveness and increase contact time with the players. Those are some really important things. You know what I mean? Like, especially in increasing contact time with the players, because I mean the global competitiveness will come as a result of increasing the contact time with the players. You know, right now, as we know, you probably have outside of the academies, and we're talking about the Phoenix academies, the Kingston football academies, maybe the Mount Pleasant Academy, and some of the others. You know, there aren't really many opportunities for players to engage with a professional coach or a coach that has, you know, some high level of training. There's not enough of an opportunity for them to engage with a coach with high level training a lot. You know, it's like if you're out of season, you're not around a coach, and if you're in season, you will be around the coach. And this is trying to solve that problem where whether we're in season or out of season, you'll still be working with a qualified coach. And that is what he means by improving global competitiveness and increase contact time with the players. It's really, really, really important. We need to have players playing more football across the course of the year and not just one time out of the year, are not just for one tournament out of the year. So those are some of the things he said. But of course, Conrad Matheson came in later in the press conference, talked about support from corporate Jamaica. They're going to have to gin up support. Right now, we say Proven, we say Water. I think Courts was on board at one point. But it seemed to me like the Jamaica Premier League has more sponsorship than the JFF. And that is something that needs to change. It seems to me like the Jamaica Premier League has more sponsorship than the JFF. And I don't know why that is, but hopefully with 876 Stream partnering with the Jamaica Football Federation, those are issues that can be solved, you know, because it needs more sponsorship. Every time I look on a JFF, you know, and I know they have Adidas sponsorship. They have the big Adidas sponsorship. I mean, oh God, that's a given. It's a massive sponsorship. But in terms of corporate support, the local support, all I see is Water and Proven, and sometimes, you know, and sometimes Courts. And then from time to time, you'll see IRFM, you know, they'll sponsor the national team in a part in some ways. But we need to see more corporate support for the JFF, you know, so that can help with marketability of the product, that can help getting more butts in the seats. All right. So yeah, as you watch, as you come in, just ask if you hit the like button, and make some comments. You know, if you have any thoughts on what I've said, please feel free to make your comments known in the comment section. But yeah, so we hear Conrad Matheson. He was in the from 876 Stream. He talked about the importance of corporate support, the local corporate support, and so on. In the latter part of the press conference, we hear Mr. Ricketts talking about or even John Wall. He was actually talking about training time. We need to see more training time with the grassroots players, the 12 to 16 age group. They need to be training more. They need to be in training more, right? Qualified coaches. He even talked about some things I myself don't even think about when it comes on to football. And this is a term that he used: qualified coaches per player ratio. He's saying that the qualified coaches per player ratio in Jamaica is low. In other words, the amount of players that are in Jamaica to the amount of qualified coaches in Jamaica, the ratio is off. You know what I mean? And it's not like we don't know this. You know, those of us who follow football a lot, we know that there are not enough qualified coaches in Jamaica. You know what I mean? We need more. And we see the JFF doing things to improve that. But John Wall talked about the qualified coaches per player ratio. He also talked about the ecosystem that exists in Jamaica. And that by that he's talking about the economy surrounding the football in Jamaica. What is the health of Jamaica's footballing economy is essentially what that is speaking to. Do we have enough money? Do we have enough funding around local football for us to move into a globally competitive place where we don't necessarily have to worry as much or depend as much on overseas talent? Not that we don't need overseas talent, not that we won't use overseas talent ever again, but can we get to a place where our ecosystem in Jamaica is creating enough revenue for us to develop, for us to reinvest that money and develop the players that we have? Is Jamaica a viable footballing economic environment? You know, are there other ways that we could be earning in from football in Jamaica, and as a result reinvest back that money into the development of the local populace that we have? Because I think those are important things, you know, because you have to really ask yourself the question: how sustainable is the approach that we're taking now? How sustainable it is in terms of, you know, we sourcing overseas based players for all of our national teams? Not that I'm against it, but you know, would we be able, if we never had these overseas based players, would we be able to be competitive with local players only? And if the answer to that is no, then, you know, we really need to take this development seriously. And I think that I think that the age group that they're targeting is the right age group, the 12 to 16 age group, you know, not too young, but not too old either. But so again, talk about but we also need to develop our coaching. I think over the years, Jamaica has focused a lot on developing players in terms of getting players overseas, in terms of getting players in professional clubs. And right now, if you look at it, you can look at quite a few locally born and bred players that are playing in professional leagues across the world, whether it be Leon Bailey, Ronaldo Cephas, Damian Lowe, Javane Brown, Andre Blake, Corey Burke, and on and on and on. I'm pretty sure. And then if you count in the young players like the Dujan Whisper Richards, the Tariq Zimenez, Norman Campbell, Denzel, Denzel McKenzie. I don't think it's Denzel McKenzie, but the guy that used to play under 20, not Denzel McKenzie, the other Denzel that used to go, JC. I don't remember his last name. But the point I'm making is we are good about getting players out into professional environments across the world. Especially we focus a lot on Europe. And then if you want to add to that too, we have a lot of players going to college in the United States and taking up scholarships there and playing college ball, and then try to make it out of there to play in the USL or the MLS. Or we have a lot of players who play in the MLS. You know, we have the Romario Williams, the Deshane Beckfords, you know, Speedy Williams at one point, Tyreek McGee, you know, and on and on and on. We have players. The point is we have a lot of players playing overseas, a lot of players. What we don't tend to see is the development of the coaches. And if the question is asked, why have we not seen the development of the coaches? That might be because of the attitudes of the coaches too, you know, because the coaches, sometimes their attitude towards improving themselves is not there. I think a lot of them believe that based on the fact that they have done it over the years and whatever they picked up from doing it over the years, you know, that is enough to hold them as a qualified coach. And I don't think that is enough at all. We need more coaches going out there and bucking the trend, right? Bucking the trend of, okay, I may have studied something at GC Foster College, and I have had some success as a coach, and through that I got a high school, coaching job. I did well in that, and eventually I found myself a Premier League coach. I know the JFF is changing that because now they're requiring that Premier League coaches must have at least a B license, or they're actively in a course gaining their B license. So I know the JFF is doing a lot to change that, but we also need to see coaches going outside of the country. In the same way we push players to go outside of the country to join academies or play for professional teams abroad, we need to see coaches going abroad to Europe, whether it is England, France, Germany, the United States, the same countries that we're sending players to try and get them to get a contract in a professional team. We need to send coaches to those countries. We need to impress upon the coaches to go to those countries and, you see me, and get a coaching license too. Richard Green, bless up, man. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. So yeah, we need to impress. We need to impress upon those coaches to go out there and get these qualifications too, because they as John Wall is saying, the qualified coaches per player ratio is off. The qualified coaches per player ratio is off. We have a lot of talent. We have a lot of footballing talent in Jamaica, but we don't have the requisite coaches to coach that talent. And I know it's not something that we don't know. The JFF knows this and they're working towards it, but it's something that it's worth mentioning because it needs attention. And again, I just mentioned the ecosystem of Jamaica, the economy of Jamaica's football needs a lot of improvement. We need to figure out ways how to generate income, how to generate money from the football we play in Jamaica as well. Michael Ricketts did talk about the fact that the government will be partnering with the JFF to improve grassroots football in Jamaica, which is really good. So he mentioned that Babsy Grange, he spoke to the Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sports, and she has committed to partnering with the JFF to improve grassroots football in Jamaica. And one of the initiatives that they said that he talked about is that he is going to require, or the JFF will now be requiring primary school coaches to have at least a D license. Yes. He's now requiring primary school coaches to have at least a D license. And that, I think, is an improvement. I think that is good. I think those are good steps in the right direction. So essentially, somebody with a ball and a whistle can't just get up and say, I'm going to go coach a side in Jamaica anymore. Or at least, soon and very soon, that will no longer be the case. Somebody who thinks, say, yeah, man, my coach a corner league side around there and them win corner league or then get the semi-final and, them feel say them know a thing or two, but them don't really have any training, those people are getting into coach primary league. And the thing about it is that it starts there. Primary league, we kind of take it for a joke because the truth of the matter, for be honest with you, back in the day, and maybe this is even the case right now, too, in Jamaica. If you want some of the time the primary school them they just want somebody who willing for coach the kids them. You know what I mean? Whether the person have a qualification or not, them just want somebody who willing to say, yo, man, me'll put in the time, me used to play ball, me know a thing or two about ball, me'll come coach the side. The primary school then would have been glad for that because sometimes it's hard to find somebody. Those are just facts. Ira from Morris, bless up yourself, man, and thank you for being here, man. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. It's like, anybody used to be able for coming in to a primary school and say, yo, I'm a coach. I will coach your primary league team. And primary league is where it starts. I don't know how many of you know who Holy Family is. Holy Family primary, Holy Family Primary School. They win the corporate area, Kingston Primary League almost every year. Like I this one name Taxi Lawrence used to go. Taxi Lawrence used to go. Holy Family. You know, them win Premier League every year. Enough of them baller they come from like the Garrison era, them, but them full of talent. You can't imagine. I'm gonna answer the coach that their coach them didn't have any qualification. I don't know. I just know that they were a very good team. They used to beat most of the primary school team them in the area. I think them and St. Aloysius was the top team them, at least when media grew up. I don't know if it's still the case now or how long that has remained the case. But at them side, they used to much a Premier League. And I'm just like, can you imagine if those players from back in the them day they had an actual qualified coach who had a strategy and a drill and a philosophy of football and from an educated perspective for training that level of talent, because there's a lot of talent come out of Holy Family. And it's not just Holy Family. I'm just mentioning them because they are the ones that seem to win a lot. But, you know, I can just imagine if there was more coaches with the talent or with the qualification that could coach some of these players from primary school. So even a D license is better than no license, because at least if you have a D license, A, you have a license, and two, you would have had to go through some level of qualification, some level of understanding, some level of education to be able to have that license. And so you can use that for us to know that, yes, this person has some amount of coaching knowledge to be able to coach these kids. Now, I know that that's not going to like fix everything overnight. That's not going to fix everything overnight. It's going to take a while. It's going to take, you know, a good while for Jamaica to reach a place where we can say no longer will we accept a man with a ball and a whistle for just come coach a Premier League side. You have to at least have a license. You get me? And I think this is a good start. So my cricket is saying that there will now be requiring primary school coaches to have a D license. Now, I don't know if there is a license requirement for high school as yet. I don't know if there is a license requirement for high school as yet. So I don't know, but that should be something also for the high schools. That should be something also for intercollegiate, because I know the intercollegiate have their tournament. And intercollegiate needs a little bit more attention too, in terms of you know, the prominence of the football competition, because really after Manning Cup there is not really much to you know, before Premier League. There is no intermediary between when you leave Manning Cup and when you go to Premier League. A lot of good players will leave Manning Cup and then go to college in the United States or in another country, or they go professional. But why is it that in the same way that you have high school track and field athletes who can leave their high schools in Jamaica and go to a UTech or a UA and still maintain a high level, why is it that we can't see a football player leaving their high school and going to a UTech, a UA, a Northern Caribbean University, a CASE, a Exeter Community College, or you name it, wherever? Why we don't see colleges in Jamaica having sports programs? We see colleges in the United States having sports programs, but we don't see colleges in Jamaica with sports programs, with strong sports programs. UA probably is the only one. And one might say, well, it's because they might not have any money. But I mean, even the poorest high school in Jamaica have a Manning Cup team. So I don't see why a college, which technically should be a richer, you know, entity than a high school in Jamaica, I don't see why they wouldn't be able to be able to maintain you know a team, a football team, or a sport team in general. So yeah, so that was the press conference though. Again, you said the launch of the World Cup qualifying campaign, and I myself I'm excited to see 876 Stream come on board. I am really looking forward to seeing what they are going to do to get people back in the seats, to get people coming to the stadium, to get people watching in live and in person again. Conrad Matheson, that's the chairperson for 876 Stream, he talked about the 1998 glory days and how people were filling out the stadium and all of that. And, he wants to bring it back to that level again. And I would love to see that, because me used to go stadium, go watch match, and stadium ram. So I want to see back them days there again. We see that with the Jamaica Premier League at Sabina Park. As again, I say, if you have a Mount Pleasant and a Hart versus, I am wishing for a Mount Pleasant versus Arnett Gardens finals. That's what I would love to see in Jamaica, because those two teams, they have the most, they have the largest fan bases in Jamaica, and I think they play the most exciting brand of football. To me, none of them side, they're not really my side still now. Above you on my side, but they're not really going well this year. But in terms of exciting brand of football, I would say it's between Arnett Gardens and Mount Pleasant. So I would love to see those two teams in the final of the Premier League, for the reason that they both play the most exciting brand of football in the Premier League right now, and they have the largest fan bases in Jamaica. I think that's the case. But we would love to see, if we can see so many spectators at Sabina Park to watch the Premier League games, I don't see why we can't have as many spectators or more watching Jamaica play. You know what I mean? Like, with all of the stars them we have, Mikel Antonio, Ethan Pinnock, Bobby Reed, Damian Lowe, Andre Blake, Leon Bailey when I play for Jamaica and so on. Like, I don't see why. Why not? But yeah, I liked some of the things that I heard in this press conference. I'm looking forward to see the talent development scheme kick off. I'm looking forward to see the under-17 tournament that they talked about kick off. I'm looking forward to have that coach in Jamaica, Stefan Avery. I'm looking forward to see what he's going to do. What is it that he's going to bring to Jamaica in terms of developing grassroots football. And grassroots, when I say grassroots, I'm talking the 12 to 16 age group. I want to see what will he bring to Jamaica in terms of developing the grassroots football in Jamaica. I just really, I'm looking forward to seeing what the next few years are going to bring, and if there's going to be more contact hours with the players, there's going to be more training happening in Jamaica, So the JFF, they really talked a good game at the press conference today. We just want to see them execute it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really have I don't say a whole heap of people beat the JFF all the while. Them have all manner of things to say about the JFF, including myself. You know what I mean? I say what I have to say about the JFF sometime, but with the election done and so on, me don't really want they in a mode of bashing them right now. I want to more be in a mode of, I want to see what are the plans that you have for Jamaica. You know what I mean? For Jamaica's football. No, I do know that they did say that they have a manifesto for Jamaica's football, and I don't know if that is something that they're going to release for us to hear. This might be a part of the manifesto for Jamaica's football, but it would be nice to hear them come out with an official manifesto to talk about their plans for Jamaica's football. But if this is anything to go by, I think it's a good start. And I just hope to see them really have a good rest of the year. I mean, we have a lot of football coming up. Under 18s just went over there to Turkey. I think either they have gone already or they will be going this Saturday, I think. That's good because they have a good coach in Lenny Hyde. I think Lenny Hyde is one of the best coaches in Jamaica. The style of football that you see him playing at Clarendon College, if he can get Jamaica's under 18s to play like that, I honestly think that that would be one of the best things to happen to Jamaica's youth football. If he can get Jamaica's under 18s to play that brand of football against any opposition, you know, because it's one thing to play that brand of football, you know, in Manning Cup or the Costa Cup, you know, because you're playing against the opponent is not strong in comparison to the world opponent. You know, that passing game that he plays with Clarendon College, can you play that passing game if you were playing against the United States or Mexico or, you know, England or, you know, Turkey or wherever? You know, so it's good that they're getting them to go outside of the country. It's good that Lenny Hyde is there because I like the brand of football that Lenny Hyde plays. I think it's the right age group that he has too, because that's the same age group he works with at Clarendon College. And that will prepare them for the under 20, so that when whosoever excels at that level, at the under 18 level, they're not just coming into the under 20 team with zero international experience. They're coming in already playing under Lenny Hyde system, and now by the time them go to under 20, they are ready to play international football, you know, because they've been playing it before. So we see under 18s going on. We know that under 20 is coming up in July. You know, I have my reservations about that because I don't like the fact that John Wall started his project with the under 20s. They remove him, and now they have Jerome Waite, which again, I wish Jerome Waite all the best, because it's not like he could say, "Oh no, don't choose me, use John Wall." He took the job because it was offered, and I would have taken it too. So I wish him all the best. And at the end of the day, I want Jamaica to win. So I want Jerome Waite to be successful. But at the same time, I would have preferred if there was more, they waited a little bit and allowed John Wall to complete his, you know, what he started. Allow John Wall to complete what he started before bringing in, you know, a new coach there. But anyway, we see under 18s, we see under 20s going on. The Reggae Boyz, they have Copa America coming up. Before that, they have the World Cup qualifying. I'm pretty sure they're going to be looking for some friendlies before the Copa America as well. And yeah, you know, it's going to be a pretty busy year for the Reggae Boyz. A lot of football for us to watch and discuss and break down and everything. So yeah, it's the launch of this season. I wonder if they will have a launch for the Copa America. You know, that would be interesting if they had a launch for the Copa America, because, you know, that's going to be held in the United States again. And we want to see our best players available for that. The Premier League season will be done. The club season will be done. So I think we should have all of our players available. I think the club season will be done even before the World Cup qualifiers. So hopefully we'll have all our players available, and we can, you know, use the opportunity to maybe play a few friendlies. Hopefully Coach Hallgrimson will have the team in camp a little bit longer, so that he can work on you know, on his style a little bit more. He can work on gelling the team a little bit better. They performed so well in the Nations League recently that, you know, our expectations have now risen in a good way. But as fans, our expectations have now risen, and we're expecting quality performances, high-level performances from here on in. from the Reggae Boys. You know what I mean? Because you have they could have even won the game against the United States. And if man, but for those last few seconds, if we had just lasted those last few seconds, would have made it to the Nations League final. I promise you would have gave Mexico a run for their money. You know what I mean? Because we took care of business against Panama, which plays a similar style of football to Mexico, but Mexico plays a better brand of that same football. So, it is what it is. We're still very happy for the performance of the Reggae Boys. They did awesome. So yeah, so that is just a little bit of my breakdown of the press conference. It kind of has whet our appetite for football on the horizon, coming up in the next few months. And yeah, I like what I heard, some of what I heard, and I look forward to see how things will turn out. So thank you everyone for joining me. I didn't get a lot of engagement. It would have been nice to hear if you had any questions or any comments on some of the things that you heard me discuss tonight. But so be it. Thank you for joining us on the stream. On your way out, please hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Your subscription helps to grow the channel. And you hitting the like button helps to send out the video to more eyes. So I'm going to leave it here, everyone. Until next time, walk good and take care of yourself. And I am out.